Hi there again, Martin from martinconpublishing.com, and we're on to our next session in the lesson series. Now that we've got a lot of the mindset stuff cleared away in the previous lessons, let's get to work. Let's review what we'll be putting into place for the rest of these 45 days, with pretty much now 44 left to go. The formula for $100,000 business is to have products to sell to reach $100,000. Not difficult. Now, we need to write emails that are going to inspire people to actually follow through. We also need to obviously find traffic to generate towards people seeing these emails and better still getting to our webpage where they can actually purchase our course materials. The idea is if you have these things in place, you've got a real business, a real $100,000 business. You don't need anything else. The rest is all fluff. Now, you don't need special software which can help do things better. You certainly can have it, but you don't need it. So let it not be a reason to allow it to get in the way and introducing yet another procrastination or excuse. You don't need gimmicks, tricks, or anything else. All you need is a place to find people who need what it is you're teaching, the products to sell to people that teach what you are teaching, and the exchange that will allow them to agree to hand over their hard-earned money for the training that you're providing. The emails to write to build trust so that people will trust you and want to purchase what it is that you have. Now, it's not difficult, even though you may never have done this before and think, my goodness, how am I going to do that? I can't convince my dog to eat his dinner, let alone convince someone to spend money to buy something I've got. However, that's what we're going to be learning. So let's go forward. Now, obviously, if you don't have people, you don't have a business. So we need to work on actually creating the business, creating the hordes of people, the lines of people who want what we've got. Now, if you don't have anything to sell them initially, whether it be a physical product or a product that you create, something they want to give you their money for, basically, you don't have a business. So you have to do all three. You have to master one, but not one alone. You have to master two, but you still have nothing. Only if you're producing all three things, the product, the emails, the sales letters, building that trust and rapport, have you got a business. I'm not trying to frighten you, but I'm telling you what the facts are. Now, if you are a PhD in studying the internet and know more things about SEO, likability, Facebook, ads, persuasion, copy, or anything else you know more about than I do, but you don't have people, emails, and products, you have nothing. So let's talk about that formula first. In order to make any money at all, you have to create training, it has to be coaching, products that people want to exchange for their hard-earned money. Now, you can't just create stuff and hope and pray that people might want it. That's pointless. You have to create what will change money. What will change money, of course. You have to create what will change lives and convince them to exchange their hard-earned money for your product in exchange for your training. So think about it. You don't want willy-nilly make payments for products that people don't want or need, because you want to be doing this in an integrity-based way. You want clients that genuinely want and crave what you've got. It's that simple. So what has to happen? First, you have to be talking with people who need and want what you can help them with. If you teach married people how to communicate with each other, for example, you aren't going to write a book about gardening and try to get gardeners to believe in your marriage training. No, you're going to write a book or record a product or create a coaching program for people who want to communicate better with each other. It's that simple. So you need to aim your product at the people who want what you've got. You have to build trust so that they actually trust you enough and allow them to tell you what you have to say. That way, it's going to make a whole lot more sense. I will teach you, but it's important that you recognize that if you don't know how, you can't communicate in such a manner that others will want to give you their money. They have to trust you, and if you don't know how to write such that it inspires trust, you need to learn. That's what we're going to be concentrating on as well. You have to create the products or coaching or training that people will want to buy. So let's be very direct. You are here for one of two reasons. Either you know how to do all of these three things, but you're not doing them, or you don't know how to do all three of those things properly, and therefore you're not doing them. I'm going to assume that you don't know how to do all of them, and if you think you know how to do them, you may be doing them wrong, and that's why they haven't been working. You enrolled in this course so that you could get results, and for some reason the way you have been doing it over the past hasn't been working for you. So I'm going to start from scratch on all three of these things. Some of these things you will have done before. That doesn't matter. You need to stay with it even if you think you know it. It's a trap many people fall into, and it's disastrous. They skip over the part of the lessons they think they know and end up missing out big time. Then they don't get results and say that was another crappy course. I don't want this to happen to you. I want you to learn all the parts that are presented and understand why you need to study all of those individual parts. It's really that simple. Hang in there, it does actually make sense. That's how these next 44 to 43 days are going to be structured, or 43 to 44 I should say, and by the end of that period of time, you'll be able to write emails comfortably as if you're talking to someone in the room. You'll be able to write sales letters that get results day in and day out. You'll be able to create products that people want to buy day in and day out, and to find the prospects who want to join your list and follow you. Do all of that and you have a business, a real, tangible, saleable, growth-oriented business. It's a lot to accomplish, it's doable, and I genuinely hope that you will stay with me and actually transform your life to achieve this. You do that and I've achieved my goal. That is huge. Without all of those components, however, we've all got nothing. Now, you'd prefer naturally to do this in 45 days rather than a year. We're not going to procrastinate and take as long as possible. We're going to move forward. We're going to do it on a daily basis, every day, and achieve the results. Everything's sequential, and that's how this is going to work. Now, we cannot skip around. I've said that before, I'm going to say it again. But life isn't perfect. I know that sometimes there may be delays. A delay is one thing. Keeping on track, being determined, is another. And this takes determination, and the results will pay off for themselves. Now, as I said earlier, there will be some tasks that may take 2 days. That doesn't matter. As long as you're doing something every day towards the goal, that's okay. Some people can actually so-called do this 45-day course and it takes them 90 days. But every day they've done something, they've moved forward. That is okay. Some of the tasks will be something you can do in a few hours. Others are going to take a lot more effort from you. But as you progress, it'll all fall into place. So stay with everything, don't skip anything, and we'll all do just fine. Now, you have to basically learn your business. You only ever have to teach any one thing once. Once you've taught something, all future clients learn that thing through your previous teaching. So you're not reteaching it over and over again, because we're going to be, you can obviously do live coaching, but at the same time, we're going to be concentrating on creating a course that you can sell online. You can have it either as an ebook course, you can have it either as an audio course, something that they can, people can listen to in their car or while they're jogging around the block, whatever the case may be. Or it can be a full-on video course. It doesn't matter. In fact, some people package the whole lot up for a super executive style of the course versus just the individual components. That's up to you, and we will discuss that more as we progress as well. However, when I was learning all of these processes, I was studying. Many of them I stuffed up, others I got quite easily, and over time I've worked out what works for me, and I'm hopefully going to be able to present that to you so that you understand and see it working for you as well. Now, excuse me, I'm just sort of going through my notes to make sure that I don't forget to tell you anything that is predominant and important. Now, let's go over the model now quickly. In order to make 100k, people have to exchange $100,000 with you over the period of the year. Now, you probably aren't going to make that through one 100k sale. You might, for example, have something like 1,000 people who each give you $100. Or you may have 250 people who are giving you $400, or 10,000 people who are giving you $10, or 300 people per month who give you $30 a month, or 100 people a month giving you $100. It doesn't matter how you structure it, as long as ultimately we have a goal in mind, being the 100,000 for the year. Now, you could argue, and this depends on the person, of course. Now, there's no perfect price point. So, for example, depending on your niche area, somewhere between $97 and $500 is probably about the right price point for serious purchasing. Not everyone is going to purchase a course for $10,000 or $100,000. Then again, if you're pricing your course at $7 or $17 or $27 or even $49, the fact remains you need to sell quite a lot of those to achieve your 100k. Whereas if you have something somewhere between $97 and $500 or $497, it's aimed higher, and statistically the people who are purchasing a higher priced course are going to be more likely to go with it. They're less likely to pick the nits out of things. I've actually found selling a $7 course to someone will often result in them complaining, well, they didn't like the font, they didn't like this, why didn't I tell them about that, and why didn't I include a couple of appendices and so on. They paid $7 for the thing, not $497. Whereas with the higher price courses, you're typically getting people who are not interested in picking a fight but want to get on with it. You'll work out what works ultimately for you. There's nothing wrong with producing $7 courses, but you're going to have to do a lot more selling to achieve the same result. Horses for courses, basically. Now, we're going to focus on creating an amazing product. First, doing that, and then over time, you can decide what price ultimately feels best, sells best, and so on. We're not going to worry so much about the price first. We're going to worry about creating something that we know is good value. If you produce a good quality product, the rest pretty much falls into place on its own. So, we're going to make a decision, we're going to make a working decision, and the way to think about this is like this. 100k a year, $2,000 a week. $2,000 a week could be in one of the following ways. 10 people investing at $100 each week, 35 people making a $30 membership payment each week, or 8 people investing at $100 each week and 3 people investing at $400 each week. It really doesn't matter. But just so that you're aware, there's lots of different ways to approach this. Now, having said that, let's move on to the next phase. This was really just an extended introduction, as it were. Now, you have to be able to communicate with folks in a way that both leads them to believe you are trustworthy, and as well as just genuinely trusting you. You'll notice I'm sitting on a lounge suite here. I'm in a nice shirt, but not a fancy tie. I haven't got the fancy studio. You can hear someone outside. I think they're mowing their lawn. It doesn't matter. I'm still able to get the information to you, and that's what it's about. Now, when you write, we're going to actually be doing courses where you are learning to write as you speak. Not like, "G'day mate, how you going?" But you're going to be writing as if you're actually talking to a person in front of you. That is the most effective way to actually get really good results. Speaking goes right along with that. When you learn the words and the word patterns, speaking is the same as writing, basically. And if I come to when I do live calls and recorded calls as well for that matter, you'll find I pretty much tell it like it is. I'll have a script in the sense of some notes to make sure that I've got the points across, but essentially I'm just talking as it comes. Here I'm talking as it comes, as well as reading from my notes to make sure that I don't miss any pertinent points. So essentially I'm going to be teaching you how to write. And finally, you're going to have to be able to go to places online where people need what you have and invite them to come to your website and start their journey with you. And we're going to learn how to achieve that as well. So we've covered the model that effectively is what this is all about. Creating products that people want, writing them in a way that is conversational, and making them available where they can be found, where people are looking for what you have to offer. So let's talk about the format. The plan is essentially to give you one element from each component every day. We're going to have product creation, we're going to have writing, we're going to be finding people who need what we have, plus there'll also be a few one-time things that you're going to need to do from time to time. And those will appear pretty much one time as we go through the course as well. Now I know from experience it's very easy to think, oh, I like writing the lessons, I'm going to skip ahead and just do them all. No. Let's go through this point by point, step by step. There's no point in assuming we know something or skipping ahead. That's been done before by many people, and usually the reason they're doing this course is because it hasn't worked for them before. So let's just do it one-on-one, one step by step. So now that you know the parts again to the 100K business, where we've got the product, the coaching, or the membership, that add up to $2,000 a week. Then the writing that leads people to trusting you and wanting to buy your products. The prospects who need what you want, need and want what you have to teach, so that you can write to them in such a way that they want to buy. And then they buy, and that's where you take in the $2,000 a week, which adds up to 100K a year. I really hope that you're beginning to see how actually simple this is. It's not meant to be difficult. It may sound difficult and very complex, but when you notch it down into smaller segments, it's a whole lot simpler. So let's have a look at what each section is going to look like. The product creation will start with 2 to 3 hours of audio instruction on the basics of creating your product. It will be step-by-step lessons. They will likely comprise the first 15 days. So I'm going to be giving you audio tracks, or video tracks in this case, and explaining how the best process is to create your products. There'll be various writing exercises. Yes, this is like going back to school. I'm sorry guys and girls. And I have a series of about 40 step-by-step exercises that when you do each, at the end of the series, you'll be amazed at how easy it actually is to do all of them. Just write, and write easily and persuasively. As we go through the exercises, it's all going to fit into place. Now, if you don't have an autoresponder account, you're going to get one. Very important, and I'll explain what that is as we go through as well. If you don't have a website, well, we're going to create one as well. And no, it doesn't have to be as complicated as you may think. And with that, we're also going to start identifying where our prospects are hanging out so that we can start inviting them to our website. Again, not as difficult as it sounds. So at the end of about 20 days or so, what we're going to have is learned how to write successfully, persuasively, genuinely, learned where our prospects are hanging out online, and we'll have also created our product and, dare I say, our sales letter too. So at that point, we'll actually be starting to create another product and so on, and just getting bigger and bigger. So you're probably thinking, this doesn't sound too bad, but geez, can I do this? Have I got what it takes? Let me assure you that if you stick with me, you've got what it takes. Absolutely. It is a lot of hard work, and anyone who tells you that it isn't is lying. If you don't have everything in place right as at this minute, that doesn't matter. We'll develop that step by step. So essentially that is where we're starting from, and I hope that I've inspired you. I hope that I've motivated you and given you a brief introduction to the fact that we really can do this. I know that I've spoken about introductions before, but it wasn't as detailed as this, and we're just building up to getting everything worked out both mentally and in actuality. So post this video if you haven't already done it. Write down all your goal lists and all the things that have been holding you back, what you feel your blockages have been, because having that clear will help you to overcome those through the next segment. So looking forward to catching up with you soon. Cheers.